Republicans just passed the largest upward wealth transfer in American history. The Big Beautiful Bill, as it's called, will put millions of Americans off of vital services like SNAP and Medicaid, while giving tax breaks to the rich, eliminating tax credits for actual renewable energy sources that are building sustainability, and drastically increasing the budget of ICE. Look, these people are building concentration camps in Florida and marketing them like it's a day at Disneyland. When we have all these egregious things happening in the United States, what fierce rebuttal do we have from the Democratic House Minority Leader? Protecting your healthcare is as American as baseball, motherhood, and dog were cooked. Hi guys, I'm Julia. I'm back from the dead with a new nose. I had my nose surgery. Everything was going fine. Just like recovering, like waiting for the before and after pics and whatnot. And then just starts bleeding like crazy. And I had to go to the hospital like multiple times in the span of 2 weeks because my nose just wouldn't stop bleeding. And when I tell you, if I didn't have insurance, I would be screwed. No, like I would genuinely have to file for bankruptcy or something. Our healthcare system is a mess, which kind of ties into this whole conversation that we're having today. The House Reconciliation Bill, also known as the Big Beautiful Bill, was passed by Republicans both in Senate and the House, and was sent off to Trump to sign, which he did last night on Independence Day. So effectively, we're getting independence from healthcare. I hate it here, guys. Oh my god. This bill is most likely going to be the most defining bill of Trump's presidency, assuming we make it a full 3.5 years, because, girl, I don't know what's going on. But naturally, we have seen Democrat representatives in the House and in the Senate fighting tooth and nail for the working American, fighting for our healthcare, fighting for our rights, doing nothing to stop because they have such a fervor for us constituents and for the working people of America.
Oh my God! I just want to go home. I've missed our entire trip to the beach. My family's going to be back before we that. So.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Fetterman. I just really thought I know it's a crazy idea, but I thought that you were going to do your job. As far as Republicans go, we did see a few vote against the bill, like Tom Tillis, a senator from my great state of North Carolina, who voted against the bill, not because he cared so deeply about Americans and their health care, but because he thought the bill was set up to trick Trump. I can't make this up. According to AP, he announced he would not run for re-election after incurring Trump's wrath. Cory Booker. But what's been genuinely discouraging is seeing how many Democrats are only doing these performative gestures, like giving extended speeches. Cory Booker had a sort of optic speech earlier this year, shall we say. He caught national attention. Good for him. Awesome. But here, the stakes are just simply that much higher. Hakeem Jeffries gave us this truly awkward photo shoot and a 6-hour speech, but he and many of his colleagues did nothing truly meaningful to rally support against the bill. A framework centered on populism would have been a great way to unite Republicans against this bill, especially as the majority of Americans in polling data show that they oppose this bill. We literally have Josh Hawley, who's a so-called MAGA populist, and he voted in support of the bill. I don't think we realize simply how much our voices matter. But no, instead of organizing grassroots support and rallying people at the local level, what did Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer do?
This is not a big, beautiful bill at all. That is why I moved on the floor to strike the title. It is now called The Act, but it is really a big, ugly betrayal.
Thanks, Chuck. I'm so glad to know that we might be losing Medicaid and coverage, but at least now it will go down in history as The Act. not the big beautiful bill. Thank you so much, Chuck. Your work as a Democrat senator really means a lot to me. Emma Vingland from the Majority Report has a really good point with all of this. Maybe if Democrats spend weeks leading a mobilization effort against the bill, a national strategy with rallies in key districts, instead of having meltdowns about Zohran, I'd be a bit more enthusiastic about Jeffrey's grand plan to delay the vote until afternoon. And the thing is, she's completely correct. AOC and Bernie Stop the Oligarchy tour has been insanely successful because they've managed to tap into the increasingly disgruntled working class compared to the highly selective niches of suburban wine moms, which Harris and Walz's campaign tried to appeal to. I'm sorry, Sandra, I know the Costco's wine section is getting overfilled with a bunch of cheap rosés. There are more important things to focus on. I think that this would be a really good transition into talking about Zohran Mamdani, the Democratic Party's nominee for the mayor of New York City. Compared to the incumbent Eric Adams and former Governor Andrew Cuomo, Mamdani has a strong social democratic platform that seems to resonate pretty well with New Yorkers. His platform ideas include freezing the rent, creating affordable grocery stores and housing, as well as providing no-cost childcare for working families across the city. Now, if you think any of these things are extreme, I beg of you, please do not visit Denmark. You will probably have a heart attack. Of course, these policies proved too intense for some people and caused the following backlash from our friends over at Fox News. So, according to them, the capitalist model promotes business and public-private partnerships, whereas the socialist model emphasizes public services, expands tenant protections, public housing investment, $70 billion. These are all good things. Are we supposed to leave this feeling like we're getting scammed? What? Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize that funding mental health response teams and launching community patrols was a great response to mental health crises. This is America. I thought we were just supposed to shoot everyone who was having a panic attack. But I think that this infographic just does a really good job at illustrating that there is a divide between classes in America, and people are just fed up with this idea of trickle-down economics, with this idea of, oh, the private sector is going to save us from the problem it created. Do they just not understand that this makes them look better to the average American? I really don't think that a single mom working 2 jobs cares about real estate development and private equity firms. They do care about affordability, though, as I think every other working American does. Unfortunately, there has been an outpouring of Islamophobia from Zionists and Republicans alike, accusing Mamdani of anti-Semitism despite his firm stance against discrimination of any kind, and his support from Jewish New Yorkers and progressives like Brad Lander, who is a very vocal progressive Jew. We then get into cultural attacks, with the MAGA recently losing their mind over Mamdani eating food with his hands. I'm sorry, I forgot that American street food culture is extremely refined, among the highest quality in the world. As a side note, Laura Loomer, who does not look like Jigsaw at all, posted a video of Mamdani comparing him to her dogs, despite the fact that she has eaten dog food on stream. I will say, though, the anchors of Fox have given Mamdani pretty cool names.
Zohan the Destroyer, the leader of a death cult in Manhattan?
Firstly, Zoran the Destroyer is a cool-ass name. If Mamdani ever wants to leave politics and go back to rapping about food, that is the name to choose. But secondly, and more importantly, if he is going to wreck the Dems, then go for it. Because I would much rather have a social democrat with a worker-focused agenda disrupt the democratic status quo than a bumbling idiot who's sad that he missed his beach trip. The Democratic Party desperately needs a spark of change. We've seen this excitement with Bernie and AOC, but I think the next step is to bring that excitement into meaningful change for American cities and working class Americans. Europe's not going to save us. Canada's not going to save us. China sure as hell's not going to save us, even though all goes south. I'm not ruling China out of the picture. The American people have to save themselves from this mess. Even if we voted for Kamala, even if we didn't vote for this. If there's one thing I am skeptical of Mamdani, it's that he met his wife on Hinge. You cannot convince me that they met and got married from Hinge. So to everyone watching, this is your call to action. Please, engage yourself in your local community. Pressure your representatives. Engage in grassroots organizing. Call out systemic injustices when you see them. And take a break from everything if it gets too overwhelming, or if you just need to touch grass or drink coffee. Do what works best for you, but remember to stay tapped in, to stay plugged in to your local communities and people around you, and remember to not lose your empathy. We are living in dark times, but I think that out of these dark times, we can come out with a stronger American spirit, one that fights for everyone, regardless of race, gender orientation, religious background, everyone. I will be here for as long as I can. Until next time, everyone, I will see you.